Hey everybody, Dave Brown here from Okuma Fishing Tackle. And today's Tune Up Tuesday, we're going to talk about frog fishing. So frog fishing is a very basic technique to catch largemouth bass. It's a topwater technique and everybody loves a huge topwater explosion. Now frog fishing is just that. You're actually fishing a frog bait. There's lots of great frog baits out on the market. There's standard frogs and there's a poppin' frog style. This one in my hand here, this happens to be the Fish Lab Rattle Toad. It also comes in a poppin' frog. So a regular frog is just that. It's a regular frog style bait with a pattern on the back, big eyes, and it usually has some sort of skirt on the back of the bait. The poppin' frog will be a little bit different. It'll have a large cup on the front where every time you pop it, it actually shoots water out, making a nice large explosion, making a lot of commotion on the surface for those bass to come up. On a regular style frog, they're usually weedless, just like this one here, so you're gonna work it across some structure. We happen to be in an area that's got a lot of moss here, so you're gonna make a nice long cast down that shoreline because we are fishing from shore, and you're gonna slowly work it right across. These are very effective in the moss, in the sticks, stick-ups, stumps, any kind of grass that you have on the surface. A frog is perfect for that. What happens is those bass are usually hunkered down, they're either bedding or they're just hiding underneath that structure. So if you have like stumps like you can kind of see behind me here, or some kind of bushes, usually those bass are gonna sit right down underneath and they're looking up, waiting to ambush anything that comes by. Frogs, a lot of protein. Those bass will come right up under the surface and they'll crush those baits. You'll be pretty amazed at the thickness of the stuff that these bass can actually come through. There'll be some thick weed beds, and those bass will actually come up and crush that bait right through that heavy top cover. So when you're fishing these baits, all you want to do, make a nice long cast and slowly work it back. Long cast down the shore, and you just want to slowly work it back. You can straight retrieve it, which is just a straight retrieve with your handle, or you want to pop it. So you're going to work it on back and you're just going to kind of work it back. This would be walk the dog style. So when you're doing that, just walk the dog. You want to work that tip of your rod up and down. Now what that's going to do is it's going to make that bait walk the dog. So it's going to go left, right as it's coming across. And every once in a while, just give it a little pause and then start that commotion up again, whether it's either your straight retrieve or that walk the dog. Long cast, start retrieve, give it a pause, then start retrieve again. Now another cool technique, when you're working heavy cover such as these stumps behind us or some of the stick-ups, when you make those long casts, cast past that and slowly work it back to that structure. As I mentioned earlier, those bass are going to be hunkered down. Now when you get to that structure, if you're working over a stump, pause that bait before you get to the stump. A lot of times that bass is looking at that side of the log, or they're going to be underneath facing the other way. So pause when you get to that stump, slowly work it up, pop it over the top of that structure, and when it hits the other side, let it pause for another second. What that is actually representing is a bait, or a frog in this case, is actually falling off of that stump into the water. Those bass will usually crush it right away. But as soon as it comes off the stump, you don't have to work it right away. Just let it sit and then start your retrieve. Another cool tip to do is on your initial cast is make that long cast and actually let it sit before you retrieve. Let that splash happen, give it a 2-second count, and then start your retrieve. That's basic frog fishing, very simple. It's a very effective technique as mentioned. For more tips, tricks, and techniques, head over to okumafishingusa.com.